Hey guys, OGalbina here, bringing you guys Draft League content once again. It's been a little bit of a hiatus. It's been about a month since our last Draft League upload just because leagues were kind of waiting for the DLC to start. We're finally back with the BBR Summer Scramble. If you guys are excited for this draft analysis, be sure to drop a like on the video as well as subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any games. We're on our way to 3,000 subs. I'd really appreciate if you help me out along that journey. If everyone you sub today that watches this video, we'd hit there. So I'd really appreciate if you help me out. But yeah, with that being said, we can kind of jump in and talk about what the BBR Summer Scramble is. It's not going to be a full season of the BBR. We've run back-to-back seasons of BBR, so it's been kind of a constant on the channel for the last year or so. But the BBR is taking a break until DLC 2 comes out and things like that. But in the meantime, we are running a tournament. There is 64 coaches in this tournament. We're all going to be playing in a pool stage. I'll show you guys my pool after I go over the team really quick. And the top 2 of that pool move on to a top 32 bracket. And whoever wins the end wins a small little cash prize and gets the title of BBR Summer Scramble Champion. I'm really hoping that I can get it. I think I drafted a ridiculously gross team and I'm super excited to show you guys it. And yeah, with that being said, we can go ahead and jump on into it. Now, our first mon is first of 3 Terra banned Pokemon in a row, meaning these Pokemon were not allowed to Terra, so that's why they are not by Terra captive. The first of which is going to be the GOAT, Torn-T. Now, Torn-T has seen a little bit of a fall off this generation thus far because of its loss of moves like Knockoff, Defog, and Toxic, but I still think personally that this Pokemon is incredible, and on top of that, the GOAT got his best move back in big ol' knockoffs. So now we can run tried and true Hurricane, Knockoff, Taunt, U-turn Torn, throw on a heavy duty boots, and we have the greatest Pokemon of all time, my favorite bug and dark Pokemon. This thing is either a phenomenal pivot, it's great offensively with nasty plot variants, or even like bulk up physical variants mixed. That Regenerator ability that you see right here is the best ability in the game by far. I mean, bar none. There's not anything close in Draft League that is better than Regenerator. So the fact that we have that on a Pokemon with this kind of speed, this kind of bulk, and very solid offenses makes this thing a phenomenal glue piece and a great pivot into so many threats. And I'm really looking forward to using Torn. Again, it's absolutely incredible. Now, keep in mind, I did have about 6th in the draft. I think it was in my pool. It was 6th or 7th. I was pretty close to the bottom. Round ends, comes back to me, and I notice there's another guy who got a move back that makes him a lot better. And that's going to be Big Garchomp. Now, for those of you who don't know, Garchomp, again, another Pokemon that's seen a little bit of a fall off. It seemed it's built itself more into like a support role than it did in Gen 8, running a lot of spiking sets, a lot of dual hazard sets, rough skin, rocky helmet, you know, dragon tailing things around, which is great. You'd occasionally see Swords Dance and Scarf and all those things. Chomp is a very versatile Pokemon. You even run mixed or special Chomp very viably. But what Chomp was missing that it could do last gen was sweeping, because it lost access to Scale Shot. But in the most recent DLC, we got that back. So keep in mind, I can now SD Scale Shots on +2/+1 and just clean through teams, especially with this phenomenal 102 speed tier. It's really tough for a lot of Scarfish to outspeed me. We're also playing in a meta that did not allow Qianpao, which means that is a priority mon and just a mon in general that demolishes Chomp that is out of the meta game that we don't have to worry about. So this thing is going to force very specific prep so that SD Scale Shot doesn't win, and I don't have to run that every week. Like I said, I can Spike, I can Rock, I can just be SD Edgequake, I can be Rough Skin Rocky Helmet and Dragon Tail things around, special, physical, mixed. So many different things. This Pokemon is so incredibly versatile. I genuinely do think if Pow and Polt are banned, this is a top 3 Pokemon in the format, along with Torn. And I got both of them at the back wheel, or around the back wheel. Not even the full back wheel. So I think we made out like a bandit with these top 2. Like, we're already doing phenomenal. We do have a bit of an ice weakness, but we will patch it up with our 3rd Pokemon in Manaphy. Manaphy did come back again, Terra banned, or it'd be really broken. But this is another Pokemon I really didn't expect to come back to me. We do kind of share a very similar speed tier to Garchomp in 100 and 102, but it's the 3rd pick in the draft, and really that's not the biggest deal in the world if we have a couple mons clumped together. But this thing's going to do what it does best. It's going to Scald or Surf. It's going to Tail Glow, Ice Beam, Energy Ball, all that stuff. Dazzling Gleam. It can U-turn and Flip Turn now. It can knock off. So there's like definitely good support sets. And typically in the past, you would see sets like this. You'd see Scald, Rest, Rain Dance, Calm Mind, which is cool. But now we are in a generation where we can now go like this. We're getting rid of all of Manaphy's cool support moves. What's going on? What's happening, guys? Why are we getting rid of all the cool moves? Hold on. Take Heart. Now, for those of you who don't know what Take Heart is, it is a move that was introduced in Legends Arceus that is basically Calm Mind. So same thing as Calm Mind, it's always going to be better because it also hears our status. So if we are burned, if we are parried, if we are poisoned, it's going to cure our status and raise our special attack and speed F by 1, which is great on like Leftovers Protect sets. I think are going to be incredible with this. Sub Take Heart sets are going to be also phenomenal. Very, very solid, again, with Leftovers. But there's also the possibility of going like Rest, Sleep Talk, because then we rest, we Sleep Talk. If we pull Scald, we get some damage. If we pull Take Heart, we get a Calm Mind and we wake up, which is also really incredible. It really kind of makes our ability null and void, but honestly, that's fine. Like, I will take this buff. Again, like I said, Manaphy is very versatile, much more versatile than people give it credit for. As long as you don't hurt or tail glow it, it's going to be really solid. I haven't used it like in a long time. I think since Gen 7, because Gen 8 Manaphy didn't have Tail Glow on Showdown because Tail Glow wasn't in Gen 8. So this Pokemon became immeasurably better in this generation. I'm really excited to use it. That's one Ice Resist. I wanted to get another one here. I also wanted to grab my Steel and my Fairy, kind of roll compress a little bit because this is 8 Pokemon. We can only grab 8. So I ended up grabbing Klefki next. Those of you who know me know I really enjoy using Klefki. Thunder Wave spam is incredible with Pokemon like Garchomp and Manaphy, as well as the dual screen aspect for both of those Pokemon setting up. We got another Spiker on top of Garchomp, so we don't have to use Spike's Garchomp every week, or, you know, really ever if we don't want to. We can foul play things, we can, you know, Dazzling Gleam them, obviously. We can do a lot of really cool things. We can even run, like, Switcheroo Lagging Tail sets with our Prankster ability. We can even run, you know, Calm Mind variants with Stored Power and Draining Kiss and really, you know, bully some teams down. This thing is really terrifying and obnoxious for so many different types of drafts, and I'm definitely really excited to use it. I think it supports Pokemon like Garchomp and Manaphy really well. Next up, we have Vikavolt. This is a Pokemon I'm really excited came back in the Teal mask. I really love the webs aspect for this team. I think it's just a cool mode for it. It doesn't require webs, but Pokemon like Garchomp and Manaphy really appreciate things just being -1. Again, it really lowers the things that can outspeed it. Even Scarfers are going to have to be faster, you know, than we are at base speed, even before we get up that, you know, scale shot with Garchomp or just in general with Manaphy. So I like that aspect, but I also like the fact that it gives me a ground immunity, because I'm very weak to ground right now. I'm incredibly weak to ground. Torn also is immune to ground, but having a second immunity is really solid. This Pokemon can be very physically defensive if we need, has reliable recovery and roost, can grab momentum with Volt Switch, Bug, Electric, and Grass, which it does have as coverage and Energy Ball. It's very difficult for a lot of teams to switch into, and there's even the opportunity of going like an Agility Throat Spray set with Bug Buzz and winning with Vikavolt on its own. So this is a really solid Pokemon, and I think it actually fits this team really well, both offensively and defensively. Now, if you'll notice so far, we don't have a Terra Captain. We have Garchomp, we have Torn, we have Manaphy, which are all Terra banned, and Klefki and Vikavolt aren't the best Terra Captains in the world. I could see a case for Vikavolt, but probably not in my opinion, especially on a more defensive role in this team like it has. I want to grab my Terramon, and I want to secure something in that 110 speed tier range. And it's all Pokemon that's a little bit lower tier when it comes to Terra Captains, if you're not doing, like, you know, low tier Terra in general. Like, if all these top tier Pokemon are out of Terra, going for this Pokemon with Terra isn't the most common thing, but I still think it's incredible, and that's going to be Lycanroc Dusk. Now, in this format we are playing, it is Terra all. So we can Terra into whatever type we want. We do have to let our opponent know before the game what our Terra type is, but we have all typings exposed to us to where we can use any which way we want, which makes this Pokemon so terrifying. Tough Claw's boosted attacks on this thing are ridiculous. Terra Fighting CC is pretty much unguardable in most instances. It was already basically stabbed with Tough Claws, but now we give it, you know, a stab typing on top of that. This thing is Terrakion, but better, in my opinion. It's really just better. That 110 speed tier is better. It's like just as strong. It has incredible priority and a Cell Rock, which is also boosted by Tough Claws. This Pokemon is incredible. It's also a solid rocker in the sense that it forces a lot of switches and makes people get out. We also have Sucker Punch as well as an option. We can even Trailblaze and boost our speed if we really want to. So yeah, I think Lycanroc Dusk is an incredible Pokemon. I'm definitely really excited to use this thing with Terra. I've seen a lot of people really pop off with it, and I want to do so myself. Alright, next up, if you look at my team right now, we're pretty Ghost weak, and my team doesn't appreciate T-Spikes. Pokemon like Vikavolt, Klefki, and even Lycanroc and Torn don't really care, but in particular, Manaphy, Garchomp, which are going to be my win conditions in most weeks, do not like T-Spikes up. They really don't like T-Spikes up. Manaphy, a little bit less with new Take Heart move, but then I'm also forced to run that set in the T-Spikes, which I don't want to be forced into it. I want to be able to run Tail Glow and things like that. So I want to grab a Ground and Poison, and like I said, I'm pretty Ghost Weak right now, so I end up grabbing Skuntank right here, and I think this Pokemon's great. You either love Skuntank or you hate it, in my opinion. A lot of people don't like it. Kurt, Kaz is giving me shit for drafting this Mon. I think it's great, especially because of the fact that it got knockoff the Shin, which is so much better than something like Crunch. Being able to disrupt, remove items is incredible. It's honestly, I think our only second knockoff user on the team outside of Torn, so that's gonna be really nice. It's stab as well. This thing can be very strong offensively, whether it be physical, special, or mixed. It also has the option of going Rough Skin Aftermath, or not Rough Skin, Rocky Helmet Aftermath, in order to get a lot of chip off on physical attackers. So if you take into the combination of Sucker Punch, Rocky Helmet, and Aftermath, a lot of Pokemon are just basically dead at that point, especially when we have really strong priority in the back in Lycanroc. This can be an uh-oh button, sack it off, and then, you know, be able to get into our Lycanroc and put ourselves in a good spot. We can even boom with this thing just to get out and gain momentum, which is really, really cool. It gets Nasty Plot as well as a setup option. Really, really incredible Pokemon. I like Skuntank a lot. I know a lot of people don't, but I think it's really, really good. And lastly, we didn't have that many points left, but again, while Skuntank does pivot into some ghosts, it doesn't check all of them, and I want something that checked all of them, and despite its passivity, it does it very well, and that's going to be Dunsparce. Little Dun. What a cute little fella he is. He does check ghosts very well. Alongside that Eviolite item, he becomes very, very bulky. Serene Grace is a decent ability, as well as something like Rattle, potentially, but realistically, this guy's here to check ghosts. It's here to glare things. Oop, and it's here to set up Stealth Rock, because we only have one other rocker at this point, or two other rockers, in Lycanroc and Garchomp, which might not be the most reliable of rockers in some games. Well, not even that they're not reliable, that's the wrong word. They don't want to run it, I guess is the better way of putting that. So having little baby Dun to do so is really going to help out. There's also random matchups for like Coil and Calm Mind can go absolutely crazy. It also got access to Toxic, which a lot of Pokemon don't have access to Toxic, but we have two of them that do, in Skuntank and Dunsparce, which is going to be really, really cool. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of the team. I think it's pretty damn good. I really, really enjoy it. Let me show you guys really quick our bracket right here. You can see our team, the Carolina Roaring Moon, down there at the bottom. We have Ghost Trickster Leo with the Revolution, which is just Evo and Eevee, which is pretty cool. He's got a pretty terrifying team. He's got King Gambit, but thankfully it isn't Terra. Chiyu with Terra, which is a little bit more manageable in my opinion. Then we have something like Slowking, Ursaluna, so nice little Trick Room core, Serena, Noivern, Wheezing Galar, who sucks, and Dust Noir. So a very interesting team, but I think we got the pieces for it. Then we have Treyant, who's a frequent guy in the BBR server. I know he's John and Dell's boy. I think he's going to be starting his content journey in this tournament as well. So I'll be sure to link him when we do play. But he has Monkey Dory, Goldango, Meowscarada, Garchomp, Alomomola, which has once again failed the OGalbina test and is a certified fraudulent, terrible Pokemon, but it got some buffs back. Fortress, Talonflame, and Clefairy, so pretty threatening offense, but a lot of the fat is very passive and exploitable. We'll see what we can do about that. And then we have Keegan, who just decided to bite my whole shit. He is rocking out with Tornty, Garchomp, so great minds think alike, to be fair. Okie Dokie, which I put him onto, showing him how terrifying I think that thing can be with Terra. We're going to be really tough against that thing. We don't have great fighting resist, plus fighting plus poison resist at least. Screamtail, Rotom, Scizor, which is a great defensive core, and then some low-tier Eviolite type mons rounding out, and Misdreavus and Lilligant. I think that this is going to be a really fun pool. We do have to win 3 to guaranteed go into brackets. 2 and 1, depending on how other people do, can make it in, but it's going to be more differential based. But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we have a really fun squad. I think we have one of the best teams in the tournament altogether, personally. Like, I think our team's incredible. There's definitely some defensive holes, but offensively, there's not many teams that are going to be able to deal with this, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to, you know, see what we want to go with here. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know if you guys are excited for the BBR and Draft League returning to the channel. This is our first DLC Teal Mask Draft League, and I'm really excited to try it out and see what we're doing. We'll have a draft analysis hopefully soon, within the next week or two, on our first full league in the DLC. But other than that, keep your eyes peeled, drop a sub, drop a like, go check out the merch, become a member. Oh, and I should probably shout out to all the channel members, right? That's usually a good idea. You guys are supporting me. I do appreciate you all for doing so. So in the bag on tier, we do have D-Double, Olivia Sama, Zeke, Goose, Matrix, Odds Are, Endless, It's Danny Mac, Aaron, Tiger VGC, Fungal, and Cats. In the Shelgon tier, we have Thriller and I think we have just Thriller in the Shelgon tier. And in the Salamence tier, we have Nate, Noah, Fat Halbert, and Bick. Thank you guys all so much for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. If you want to become a member, see what the perks are, go check it out in the description and or the little join button. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.